Two households, both alike in dignity. In fair Verona, where we lay our scene. The first time I read Romeo and Juliet, I was like, this is weak, I don't get it. This ain't got nothing to do with my life. Now, when I read it, it's like, this is what's going on in my neighborhood right now, Richmond, California. Welcome to my city.
Last weekend, we had a shooting every night. And one night, we had 2 shootings. So we have a gang problem.
It's about North versus Central. The reason why we are fighting is because our parents was fighting.
My little brother, it was really easy for him to be a thug. It's in his bloodline.
When I was a little kid, I always envisioned myself being somebody important. I want to be one of the biggest drug dealers in Richmond. Nah, the Bay Area.
Can you face it? You either die at a young age, tell or be in the cage, rob, be a renegade, lie, it's a lie. She know that crime pays 5 blades in my veins, hustle you for the pain, lie, it's a lie.
Donte was at that interesting crossroads where he had just discovered spoken word. I didn't know if he'd be interested in teaching.
It was either that or the streets, so I changed my profession. We finna take Romeo and Juliet, rewrite it, and make it fit Richmond. Romeo is from North Richmond, Juliet is from Central. That's what make it like, ooh. And they were black? Ooh. I really started looking at hustling as just killing your own people, bro. You're killing your own people. Step forward if you have lost someone to gun violence. I got a community dependent on me. I can't let fear stop me from doing what I gotta do. My little brother just got killed a couple days ago.
Everywhere I look, forces trying to pull me back. Searching for the light, the darkness has me trapped.
I need out of this war zone of torn flesh tonight. Love and enrichment is possible.
Keep on pushing, I know I'm gonna find my harmony.
Art is an imitation of life. I had control over how to play in it. In life, you have very little.
What's going on, people? This is Evan L.G. Francis, aka Mr. Go to Work, and today, man, this is something big for the city of Richmond. This is huge for the city of Richmond. This brother right here, man, he's making waves. One of my favorite people that I've met from Richmond, that's doing something. This is Donte Clark, the star of Romeo is Bleeding, the damnedest movie that I've seen in a minute, especially because it's representing the Richmond, California experience to the fullest, man. So welcome, thank you for coming, bro. I really appreciate it. I want to really just have a conversation, right? This ain't gonna be a super casual, straight-laced interview because I'm from the south side of Richmond, you from the north, and I think just for us to be able to be in a room and have these conversations and talk about the issues that's affecting us and our people, I think that it's called for to have a conversation more so than an interview. You know what I'm saying? So we'll cover everything. We're gonna cover a little bit of everything today. So, you know what I mean? No time limit. All right, so first and foremost, man, Romeo is Bleeding. Tell me how that came about. What was the catalyst that made you want to do the movie?
Man, really simple. We was working on a play. A mentor of mine is Ruben Morgan. We was looking at this venue at the East Bay Center for the Performing Arts in Richmond. Yeah. We had this balcony. And he was like, man, we not doing it, but this would be a nice scene for Romeo and Juliet, the balcony scene. And my partner, Molly Rayner, who we was running a spoken word organization with, I was running a spoken word organization with called Raw Talent. Right. They both was geeking out about the possibility of doing Romeo and Juliet. And I was like, nah, right. I wasn't feeling it. We got done with that play that show that we was doing in May. And then through the summer, he was like, I think you should really consider Romeo and Juliet. Right. So I read the story, I went and looked at what was the basics of Romeo and Juliet and how could we make that fit Richmond, the Richmond experience. I'm all about making it accessible to the people. Once I saw that it was no different than what we was going through, it was just different faces, different names in a different city.
Right.
But the elements of it was still our experience. I'm like, this is our story.
Yeah.
I want to write this play, but I'm not gonna only just write it as Romeo and Juliet. I'm finna put our history into this. So as I started writing it, Molly Rayner, her cousin, Jason's eldest, is a film editor in Hollywood. She's been telling him about our spoken word program for years. But when she told him that I was writing this play based off my life and the life of the youngsters that I was working with, he wanted to just come up from LA just to film it, the process just to see if it was something.
Right.
Once he came and he filmed a little bit of us rehearsing it, Chevron caught on fire. And he captured some of that on film. And then he started asking questions about like, what is this? We're like, that's Chevron, da-da-da-da. When the blacks came from the South and we came, they pushed us over here, da-da-da-da. So he started asking questions about the city. He started seeing that it was a deeper story there. So then he wanted to come up and film it even more. Yeah. I didn't see this being a documentary that was gonna go into theater, so I can't take credit for that. But just to tell the story, the way that I told it was something that was important to me. Right. You know what I mean? So that's how, the play was called Tage Harmony, but the film is called Romeo is Bleeding. So that's how that came about.
Okay, let's jump into this because you just mentioned it, so I just want to dive right into it. We're both from Richmond, so we all know about the fires that go on with Chevron, those factories, those refineries and stuff like that. And you covered that in the movie too. So just give the people a little bit of background on the whole Chevron situation, because it has a lot to do with our health. It affects our health and stuff too, right? So what are the things that that affect us, like with the Chevron situation?
Man, like right now, I got sinuses right now that's killing me. The Chevron thing is pretty much where it's located in our city is by an underserved community. Okay.
Yeah.
And the fumes that go into the air because how the wind from the bay move, right, it blow these airs into our city. You know what I mean? We got asthma, we got allergies. Like right now, I'm messed up, allergies. Yeah, that whole Chevron situation is it causes a lot of like breathing and certain cancers and stuff for those people who work in these environments who have ailments later on in their life. Yeah. I'm not once again, like we was having a conversation off air. It's like once you figure, all right, I need to cut this out. Yeah. Once you start seeing how that thing you trying to cut out is intricate in all other aspects of your life, now you have a spiritual situation. You conflicted, like, dang, I don't want to stop doing X, Y, and Z. I just want to stop doing this. But in order to get rid of this problem, this is also financing or is woven into all of them other things that you enjoy. So when we talk about that Chevron, like even myself, we talk about how, man, they releasing chemicals in the air, but it's like those fumes that's released, the byproduct of that, I benefit to some degree. Yeah. Do I want to cut that out of my life too? And until we able to really address like that problem, then we can protest all day about, man, y'all releasing this in the air. Then it's like, are you having a problem with us releasing it in the air in your community? Or are you having a problem with us releasing it in the air, period? Because either way it go, if it's in your community or in the air travels. We all, you know what I mean? It's gonna travel somewhere. Like we go to a remote place, it's still gonna be in the air and it's gonna travel. Somebody lives somewhere. The animals or the plants, something is gonna be affected. You know what I mean? So it's like, until we able to really sit down and address that, you can protest it all day, but you feel me? You gotta get gas for your car.
Yeah, real talk. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you say benefit from the byproduct.
You know what I mean? You benefit from it. So it's like, we gotta look, if we gonna look deeper, we gotta really look deeper.
Yeah. And so you got your start, and you mentioned earlier too, doing the Raw Talent program.
Yeah.
So just tell me a little bit, tell the folks a little bit about the Raw Talent program. Is it, like, what is it? How'd you get started and what you guys got going? Is it still around? What's going on?
Man, Raw Talent was just really a family. It started 2008, November. I graduated high school 2008. I just started writing poetry my senior year. I met Molly Rayner. She thought that I was a good writer, but she thought that I'd be even a greater teacher at working with young people on their writing.
Right.
She invited me to come and work with her when I graduated to help provide that writing program service to the other youngsters in high school at that Making Waves program that I was a part of, which is a college prep program at that time. It's no longer existing in that format, but I came. It was pretty much just meeting with young folks once, 2, 3 times a week, an hour, asking them about what's going on in their life, giving them writing prompts. They wrote it down, and then we critiqued their writing based off what level they wanted to go.
Right.
From that, we formed a family. We provided a space for young people to talk about issues of rape, sexual abuse, emotional abuse, drug abuse, gun violence, sexual identity, all of these different things. They didn't have nowhere to talk about it in school or a family to talk to. So just providing that space for an hour for 9 youngsters to come in and talk about what's going on in their life, write it down, and then give each other like advice on how to improve your writing. You was getting healthy communication, self-esteem, a sense of identity, a sense of voice, a sense of like spiritual cleansing, and it just became a family. We just named it Raw Talent, which stood for Richmond Artists with Talent. And then we just pretty much came together for weeks. And then after a while, I was like, well, we hearing each other writing, but it's more important that the community hear what y'all gotta say. Right. So my idea was like, instead of going to other communities and open mics, let's host our own. Like, these is our people, these is our youngsters. So after the youngsters wrote, we just invited the community to come here. And then from there, we started doing shows, and then from shows, it turned into a documentary.
We all know that being in Richmond, we've seen unsavory things. You know what I mean? Yeah. We've all seen something. So in living in that life, we get used to it. You know, we stay there, we don't leave, we get not even talking about leaving physically, but mentally, not ascending or bringing ourselves higher. So what was your breaking point growing up in Richmond? Because I know what you were saying before. You were saying, like, when I was younger, like, I wanted to be like the biggest drug dealer in Richmond. I think every one of us at some point felt like that because that's what we seen. So what was your breaking point to be like, man, this ain't for me, I'm gonna do something different, I'm gonna change directions? What was your breaking point? What was the thing that made you say, it's time for change?
I can give a moment, a time where for an example, but I feel like it was always there. Like, a part of me wanted to do it, but another part of me was like, that ain't you, since I was a little kid. Yeah. But I say, I was in independent studies in my senior year in high school, and I had like a 3.0. Mm-hmm. And then one of the OGs who I looked up to in the neighborhood was like, man, keep doing that. Like, get away from here. Yeah. Ain't nothing out here for you. Yeah. And you might be the one that can help change lives, save people. Yeah. And I'm thinking to myself, like, this person is a shooter. Yeah. This person is part of the reason why my community is so jacked up. Yeah. And instead of, sometimes he was the one that was trying to steer me to go do something crazy. Mm-hmm. Wasn't no pressure, but it's just like how he looked at me. When he saw me, he didn't see me, he saw my family. Yeah. He saw the reputation of my family. Yeah. So he like, you just a younger version of that. So it was like an expectation for me to be reckless, even more reckless than my older generation. Yeah. So it's like, he never pressured me to do something, but it was an expectation. Once he started seeing that I want to write, I want to do movies, I want to direct, I want to do other things, he's like, man, you might be the one that can change something. You need to get up out of here. Ain't nothing out here for you. Yeah. So when I saw like a person that I looked up to that was committing all of this violence, tell me that I can help save lives, the irony in that, because like, you out here taking them. You know what I mean? So I felt like if I can open your eyes, and I ain't even did nothing yet, I just told you what I want to do. If I can open your eyes now, just imagine of how many other people I can reach if I stick with it. So it's like, just seeing all my life, I feel like I speak for most people. Mm-hmm. We say, like, when you live in an environment where people is dying consistently, we all know that we got a day. Yeah. But some folks expect to get to that at least 73, 85. In our communities, it's like tomorrow, today may be the last, and I'm 13. So we start living for the right now in a reckless way, not in a productive, creative, I want to give. We live in a I want to take. Yeah. You know what I mean? So with that idea, I may not see 18, 21, or 25. I'm gonna live reckless. I thought, well, most OGs probably thought that way too. And some of them made it to 45.
That's crazy, yeah.
And they on the street asking me for change. So not everybody gonna die before 18,
Right.
21 and 25. So I thought, well, if I don't die before then, if I don't get my mind right now, I'm gonna be that 45-year-old G that's like, I made it past that age, but I ain't got nothing to show for it. All I got is a bunch of mistakes that I made to pass down to another youngster while I'm asking him for the $15 or 15 cents that he just hustled for change. I'm trying to tell him to do the right thing, but I'm asking for, I'm like, I don't wanna be that OG. So that was my other breaking point. Like, well, if I am gonna die before then, I wanna do something productive so I can give to the community.
Right.
Just in case I live past then I won't be standing on the street corner asking for change. I wanna prepare myself now to be where I wanna be. And then from that was a breaking point of like, well, if you think it, then so shall it be.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, all right, well, I need to start thinking in that direction.
The reason I really like the movie is because when I like seen the trailer, like I first kind of took away from it, like, okay, this is gonna be about you, your rise through, you know, how you overcame a lot of issues in the city, you know, in Richmond and everything. And what I really liked about it was your story is incredible, but it wasn't just about you. It was bigger than that. It was about the people that you were working with and the people that you were doing things with. You know, the young ladies that were, you know, in the film too. They had some powerful things to say and some great poems and spoken word to say. So I really enjoyed that, and I really felt like it gave a bigger view of the issues that go on in Richmond and in our community, right? So one of the big issues that I really want to discuss with you, like, is relationships, bruh, because that was a big thing too. Like how we view our women, like how we view them and how we view what they're supposed to be doing and this, that, and that. Because it was a term you put out there called down girls, right? And that's how you know I watched the movie for real. Like it was a term called down girls, and we've all heard about that. You know what I'm saying? We all know what that is. But then I feel like that sometimes I feel like we're romanticizing the wrong thing. You know what I mean? And so I want to know your viewpoint on relationships nowadays for our generation, what the issues are and what you think we can do to make some solutions for them.
I feel as though a lot of us don't really know what a relationship entails.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the qualities that makes a relationship strong, healthy, and a give and receive,
right.
Not a give and take.
Right.
It's a give and you receive. In our communities, we didn't grow up with two-parent households.
True.
And for those who did grow up with two-parent households, it was extremely gifted in one sense that at least you know who your parents are.
Yep.
However, that two-parent household could have been very violent. Or they could have been absent because they was always working. You know what I'm saying? So at least you know who your mom and your pops is, but they was probably always fighting.
Yeah.
Or they was never there to really raise you.
Yeah.
So a lot of us grow up having this example of what a relationship looked like. I'm gonna just speak for myself, because I had a two-parent household. Right. My pops was there, my mom's was there. So I know who my parents is, but my pops never participated in my day-to-day life.
Right.
He was in the streets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he'd be gone all day, or he would sleep all day because he was gone all night.
Right.
Or a couple of days he was gone. So when he came home, he would sleep. When he wake up, he may eat something, may shower, may tell us to go clean up because your mama gonna trip if y'all don't. He ain't say because I said so. Right. He said, if y'all don't clean up, you know your mama gonna come in here. So that, now I'm gonna associate that with pops not tripping, it's moms that's tripping. Yeah. So moms is a disciplinarian and you the financial. So if I ever ask my mom, like, mama, can we go to the movies? Yeah, ask your daddy. Daddy, can we have some money to go to the movies? So I'm learning, he got the money, but she make the rules. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, I grow up with that. So I thought that was how a relationship was supposed to be. To never be at home, getting money and making sure that your woman took care of the household. Right. it wasn't until I got older that I realized, like, damn, there's certain things that I didn't learn on how to be a man. Right. Being emotionally involved with my partner. Yeah. It's like, dang, I never heard my moms and pops talking about anything that was like relationship, like financial budgeting. He didn't go grocery shopping with us. You know what I mean? It was it's a lot of things that's like, damn, how to cook your food, prepare your food, how to really talk to women, and it's a lot of things. So relationships nowadays, it's like we either don't have nobody teaching us the proper way, right, or the people that are teaching us is very few compared to what the world condones. You got to get it how you live. Yeah. So if we as a people is struggling, if I'm a starve, right, you are going to want to be with somebody who has a mentality of survival. Right. And in that time, it was a hustler. Right. You was hustling. You was doing whatever you could to provide, because that's our instinct, to go out there and get it. Yeah. So you gonna want to be with that person, and that person is gonna need somebody that can hold them down. It's like, dang, if somebody's trying to come and set me up, I need you. I need to be able to trust you. Right. If the police come, don't say nothing. Right. Because this is the life that we live in. And once these type of people start making songs about this life, it then becomes like popularized. Right. And then now it just become like this vague term of I need somebody that's down. Yeah. And it's really just saying, like, even if you're not in a violent community, I don't want to just say that that's just in a violent, but even if you just go to school every day and you just trying to do, you know what I mean, work this little 9 to 5 and go to school, go to college, you need somebody who can understand you. Really, that's all it is. It's like, I understand your lifestyle, I understand your vision, I understand your dreams, and I'm not gonna switch up on you. We together and we committed. Yeah. So down is just another way of being committed, but once again, it's being committed to the wrong things and to the wrong people. Yeah. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with being a down girl or a down brother, however you want to say it. Right. Is what are you down for? That's what make it like, what? Yeah. And this media makes relationships seem fun. Yes. And not, relationship is a business. Yep. It's a partnership. It takes work, especially when you're growing up with wounded individuals. Yep. It's like, I got trust issues. I've been hurt. You've been hurt. I have a different, like, I had 2 parents in a household, but you didn't have no parents. Right. So your idea of love is like, what? But mine is like, at least I had my pops and moms was together, but my pops wasn't never there. You know what I mean? So it's like, we got 2 different ideas of what love is. Right. In social media and music, they only show we going out, we eating big expensive meals, we wearing the same clothes, we taking trips, but they don't know how to have a conversation. Yep. You know what I mean? Yep. They don't know how to say, I forgive you. They don't know how to be patient with each other. The way they fix things is, let's go on a trip. Go on a trip, they don't even talk to each other. They just take pictures of what's going on. You know what I mean? They don't know how to really be in relation with each other. So it's like, that's another thing that's missing on how to even be in a relationship. Just because I'm irritated with you, you think that we finna break up. It's like, no, I could be irritated in this moment, but still got love for you. Like, you know what I mean? So
amongst the changes you've made, I know over the years, right? We talked about this off camera, veganism. So I wanted to cover this topic because I really feel this is an important topic too, because we was talking about a whole range of stuff involving food, but just in the community in general, we know for sure that it's set up to a way to where a lot of the things that we need access to, as far as like food and the good stuff though, not just the processed stuff and all that. Like, we have like overexposure to fast food and stuff in the communities, and like underexposure of the healthy stuff. So veganism, tell me and tell the people, like, what's the difference that you feel since you've gone through this, and how long have you been doing it for now?
I say going on 2 years that I haven't had meat intentionally. I say that because it's a lot of foods, the way that it's prepped, when you go to like fast food restaurants, you don't know what they putting in there. Yeah. Even if I ask for like a healthy meal that's just fruits and vegetables, sometimes they using the same knife that they just chop the pork chop, they chopping your vegetables with. Yeah. They cooking, they grilling. My vegetable taco, my onions and all of that is on the same platter that they just cooked a big greasy ass chicken, whatever. So I say that intentionally. Like, but I mean, it's been almost 2 years, and the difference for me, health-wise, I would have to say phenomenal. I ain't experienced no headaches. I got a lot of energy when I am on top of my get up, drink my water, eat my fruits, vegetables, my nuts. When you exercise, my endurance is, you know what I mean, clarity, breathing. My sinuses is clear most of the time. Man, it's just, when I eat, I don't feel heavy. Like heavy as far as like, stuck, you know, you get full. I can eat something, I can get full off a big bowl of fruit, but don't feel full. I just feel like I'm not hungry. My appetite for certain things has gone. Like, I'm not in need of food all the time like that no more. It's like, I can just eat small things and be satisfied. Like, yeah, man, it's been a beautiful experience. I'm not gonna jaws. I feel I have a more deeper appreciation for food, because now that I'm seeing like what food is for, you know what I mean? Food is to sustain the body. It's not, it is good, but it's not only supposed to be pleasurable. It's to sustain your body.
Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. Man.
I just got Instagram, honestly. Don Black, DonBlak. All right. Email at Donte Clark, DonTeclark @ymail.com. That's it, bro.
All right, man. So you know we Richmond based. We all that. We from here. You know you gotta drop a couple. You gotta give us a couple bars, bro. At least, just a couple bars, man. Something, anything. I don't care whether it's spoken word, whether it's rap. It don't matter, bro. But just bless the lab, bro, because it's so rare that we get somebody with this air in here. We need something, anything. I don't care what it is.
I'm gonna see if I remember this. It's something I just wrote. Nobody heard it.
Go for it.
Out the blacktop, they want to see me pruned. Another great debater gone too soon. From the covers of poverty, see me loom. With Don essence of presence fill up the room. Man, I was feeling December, but now I'm June. I was buried alive until I bloom. Time itself won't heal nobody's wounds. A lot of tears I dropped under the moon. Jason lyric taste harmony I'm in tune with. Lackawanna, mo better, mahogany, blue fences. Other brews who brood over them shrews. Got diamonds in their ears but can't hear these jewels. A hurricane that ricocheted under fire. On the corner fresh turned Lester through the wire. We the soul food that power this empire. And freaky freak flow out the bottles, they become Maya. That thug life American prisons higher. Now he don't know which way up, he Richard Pryor. For that bling bling cash money that he desired. Now Brian Hook's facing them 3 strikes from Priors. Claude and Ray got life for nigga pie. And now they fighting for cornbread inside. Cleo went and set it off, it was dire. 100 shots left to soak beside the tires. According to the brothers, they dig Tay as the best man. They do little, I'm John Q about the Benjamins. For more than 5 heartbeats left with major pain, go above the rim for higher learning, he got game. Waiting to excel, hope Stella can get a groove back. Over jungle fevers at house party, cool G-rap. For the baby boy with dream girls on school days. That brown sugar, big mama's house, your belly crave. Poetic justice at barbershops, high top fades, waves, laid. Have them feeling paid in full. Cute, you got the juice. Tell them boys in the hood connect back to their roots. Yeah. We coming to America, enemy of the state. Unless you're the help ink well, Lorenz Tate. Got hidden figures that's living single to dates. But it's still a Love Jones out there for you to taste. Those is all black movies I just named.
I love that. I love them bars, bro. I was literally on every word, cause like I was, bro. I was on it, bro. Everything you was going through, bro. You go.
Those was all black movies.
Yeah, you was going off, bro. You was going off.
I know a lot of people probably not gonna catch everything I said in there, which I wrote it that way. But for those who could catch it, those is all black film titles.
Yeah, that's insane, bro. My man right here going off, man. You going crazy. We want to thank him for throwing these bars, man, and having this conversation, bro, because like I said, for us to be able to have this, and to me, bro, like, it's just like a family conversation. You know what I mean? That we just had, man. And it's good for us to be able to do this as brothers from the same city. Yeah. And you know what I'm saying? Just look at each other, like you said, as human beings and all that, man. I've got a whole new level of respect for you, bro. Like, I want to thank you for coming through and blessing us in the lab, man. And you already know, I got to throw a rhyme out there. You already know. Don Black LG, yeah, we go berserk. Until next time, eat healthy, speak healthy, live healthy. Go to work. Hey, thank you, bro. I appreciate that.
Thank you.